Well, thank you very much. And let me say that I thank God that we still have the opportunity to speak to our people and also to congratulate those who came out to protest in the real sense of protest. And also to say that it's also an opportunity to, advise ourselves on the way and manner we should conduct ourselves. I think in all, maybe I can say the first day of the protests, you can say people came out to express themselves and let the world know and government understand how they feel. Hunger is not something that is hidden. Everybody knows that there is hunger in the land, but the hunger is not as a result of the policies of this administration alone. Is government is a continuum, and it's not all that goes around that you can be able to say to the general public. So, but first of all, I commend Mr. President and the government of this country for the way they have handled it. The government came out, the president came out to address the people and also opened the channel for discussions. And I think that by now we should take advantage of the opportunity that's available for us to be able to go to the table and put some of these problems that bedevil this country for now on the table and x-ray it and look at the possible ways and means of addressing them in the short term, in the medium term, and in the long term. But I can see very clearly that the president of this country means well because he's been able to, as one man who has been involved in protest and all of that before now, maybe that's what has made it possible for him to, at least address the issues or handle the issues the way and manner he's handling it. Because some are very challenging to the extent that when you see protesters, so to speak, because I believe the real protesters may not be able to go into looting and vandalism and all of that. But the trouble is, when doing the protest, is it possible for you to control the crowd? So the real protesters are doing their protests, but there are some people who are just there, like if you see, like in Kano and a lot of other places, you discover that people are carrying flags of other countries in a country, and that is not part of the protest. I'm sure you're also aware that when a protest turns chaotic, it is no longer a protest. Protest is a civil right that is guaranteed by our constitution, and I'm sure the security operatives have been very professional in handling a lot of things that have happened, but to the extent that those who come behind to do some kind of very nefarious things, you cannot isolate them anymore because it is seen that this is the protest that is going on. I mean, like yesterday, you saw, like, I watched a clip. There's a very popular market in River State in Port Harcourt. They call it the oil mill market, where traders from all parts of the state, including the neighboring states, they bring their wares, either food items, clothing, or whatever. They bring and sell in that market once in a week. Is always on a Wednesday. And some people who claim they were protesters, moving around Port Harcourt and moving like marauders, were reeling out instructions and threats that nobody should come to that market today, tomorrow, and next tomorrow, and beyond. That anybody who comes, even the police cannot guarantee their safety. I mean, when you see things like that in a government in a place where there is governance, where there is a government. I think that one is beyond, it has, whoever made those assertions has already crossed the line. But today, I'm happy the market, everybody is in the market doing their business because the police has risen, to the occasion. So I commend the police, I commend the security agencies, I commend Mr. President and all those who are of the opinion that this protest should remain civil and this protest should be such that our anger and our challenges, we will bring them to a round table to discuss. I commend all of them. And for those who hide under the scene to begin to do all sorts of things, I think those ones should be condemned. They should be condemned roundly. It's not a time when anybody would go take laws into his hands. And you hear when people are losing their lives. I think I feel so bad for those who have lost their lives and who are the normal citizens who found themselves, in such a situation where they had to lose their lives. We pray God for the repose of their souls, and we also urge government, those who were going about their normal duties and lost their lives, government should find a way to provide succor for the families so that at least it will assuage their feelings. But I also call on Mr. President and every well-meaning Nigerian to let's come together and look at the way forward. Yes, there is hunger, but violence will not quench hunger. Looting, because some of the persons that you break into their shops collected monies from people and banks and whatever such finance houses, both the ones that we know and the unwritten. And they are trading with these things. You see a man or a woman that is selling maybe some food items or some small wares, very small amount of money that is involved, and the wind comes to sweep all of it. It means you have said the person is not qualified to be alive. So who then are you protesting for? So I call on Nigerians and all those who are protesting, for the meaningful development of this country to also at least take a look at it and let us see how best to go to the table to discuss and end the carnage in some of these places that we're finding it. And you can see a lot of states, there is a curfew and all of that. I commend the governors of some of those states. And for those who are also behind fueling it, I would say they should have a rethink, because violence doesn't choose anybody. It's something that swallows everybody. Our economy is bad, and there are policies of government that you see as harsh as they are, but they tend to want to give you respite at the end. Like I keep saying, when you go into road construction, people must pay certain prices. There are those who own the land, the roads that we drive on, right from Kano to Abuja here. There are landowners. In some cases, and some of the people that own those lands, you cannot be able to compensate them enough. But they give up. They give up some of these things for development to thrive. So for our young men and women, elderly people who feel and also understand that things are not right in this country, let us all come together and see how best. Let's discuss with the authorities. Let's discuss with the president. I take a cue from what has happened with the Nigerian Labour Congress, the issues of the minimum wage. Yes, it lingered on for a while, but at least something has been achieved from 30,000 to 70,000. So I think that there is room for improvement. Chaos, crisis will not solve the problem. It will never be a panacea to, these things we're talking about. So for me, it's those who have protested well. Those who infiltrated their ranks, we condemn them and call on those who are the real protesters to please come together, provide leadership, and let leadership meet with government and have a roundtable discussion, which is with a view of improving on what we have today. And I think they also will be the heroes of democracy.